My name is Idan. I'm member and community development at Kembali Innovation Hub. Kumpul is actually our management, our coworking management. So aside from this place, Kembali, we also manage two other places. It's called a Colony, located in Plaza Renon, right? And one other space is Ruang dan Tempo, located in Jakarta. We are basically a co-working space that connects all collaborators and also professionals. So we're basically a community of professionals working together and hopefully creating some sort of like collaboration projects for creating local impacts. We see lots of startups that are creating change in terms of in terms of environment, and we see that there are a lot of talents, there are a lot of potentials that are still untapped in terms of creative and tech sector. So we want to enhance that. We want to emphasize that, and we want to make Bali not just a very beautiful island, but just but also a hub, a tech and creative hub in Indonesia and in Southeast Asia. So, which is why we make Kumpul at first, right? We made it 3 or 4 years ago, and then now we expanded. We have 3 more spaces, and we want to build on that. We want to aggregate lots of talents inside our network, our communities. So our members are very diverse, as I said before. They're mostly locals, right? So perhaps like 60 to 70%, because that's what we want to build on. That's what we want to focus on, local people. But doesn't mean that we close our doors to other people from other countries who want to create impacts to local communities, because that's our main goal. So our members are mostly startups and companies. Their staff range from 1 or 2 to like 5 to 8, 10. So it's still a very, quite a small team for the startups. And we also have freelancers. We also have individuals. They come from different backgrounds, such as, for example, the startups are about in food industry, in digital marketing, writing, media, journalists, and also software developer, mobile app developer, things like that. So we always have very much to learn from our members, because they have such different backgrounds and industries. It's always so very rich if you are coming to our space, because you can see and you can meet these different people in their habitat, working and connecting with each other. We don't just provide physical facilities like chairs, rooms, printers, like internet service, but we also provide them with events, programs, and also opportunity to network with other people. I think that's one of the most valuable thing that we can offer for entrepreneurs or for our startups, because as a hub, we want people to connect with each other. So that's the main idea of why Kumpul and Kembali was created.
My inspiration were all of the issues that I found on the field when I did my first project. So actually I'm involved in disability fields since 2013. It was Jobs Network for People with Disabilities. So it was the pioneer of Jobs Network for People with Disabilities in Indonesia. So within 5 years, my experience there, I found out that if we talk about employment, it means many things. It means about education, accessibility, access to information, mobility, etc. And in that time, we only focus on employment. So we couldn't help them more beyond the employment. So that's why the idea of Diffago appears, because we want to help more not only for employments, but for many things, like all-in-one solutions. So we want to help them to get appropriate mobility, a better education, to prepare them to be ready to work professionally, and the last thing is to get jobs, a better jobs. Yeah. This is my first experience to become entrepreneur, and I never had experience to do, like I was working at a non-profit. So I decided to build social enterprise because we want to be sustained in the long terms. And it makes me need to think so hard how we can sustain. And is that okay if I only rely on my savings? And how should I do to make my organization profit? So if you talk about social enterprise, in my point of view, it's even more challenging than general business, because social and business, they are opposite each other, right? So I need to think harder how we can make profit to become sustainable, but still we can make a great impact for society. So that's my biggest fearness. But I was so lucky because I have great co-founders, and they are so experiencing to become entrepreneur, and they support me. They explain to me about entrepreneur, what's the challenge, what should I do, etc. So yeah, it supports me, and I decide, okay, just start and see what will happen. Well, I was afraid, of course, but on the other side, I don't know why, but I'm so confident. And I'm like, okay, that's enough. The networks that I have is enough. The experience already okay. But when I started, oh my God, it's hard like hell, because everybody, we start in 3 cities in Indonesia, right? And I need to commute every month to Jakarta to meet people, to introduce our initiative. And mostly people will say, wow, that's really good. Okay, we want to collaborate with you. But after that, then they disappear. And it's really often happened in these first years. I used to, being frustrated, but I never thought that I want to give up. So, once I decide to become entrepreneur, so I will do it until I'm successful. So the failures is more like how to convince other people. So they want to collaborate with us to make this vision happen. Because if I may say, disability is really not sexy issues. We cannot make a lot of money with disability issues. So that's the challenge. How you can convince other people and offers the values instead of money. So they want to involve in your movements. I'm being more patient, stronger, of course, and maybe don't expect too much at the first. Don't expect that everything will happen instantly, because sometimes we need a longer process than other people.
I talked to many entrepreneurs, people who just started their businesses, or people who have developed their businesses over time, and some of them said to me that it can be a bit lonely at first, because finding people with the same mind as you, like-minded people, finding like-minded people in terms of business, in terms of vision, in terms of your principles and your mission in your business, that can be a bit hard. You don't know where to look, you don't really know where to find these people. And I think this is where co-working space can play an important part. The definition of entrepreneurship sort of change in this digital age and in this thriving technology. I think before entrepreneurship means just starting a line of business, right? But now I think it's got something to do with innovating existing line of business, and then solving problems, local problems or national problems or global problems. step by step, you know. So I think the meaning of entrepreneurship means to innovate and to catalyze changes in people's life.
Well, entrepreneur for me means all-in-one lessons in life. Become entrepreneurs is not a trend. My co-founders used to say to me before I decided to focus 100% to become entrepreneur. He told me that entrepreneur is like you falling down from the helicopter without any parachute, or when you walk on the cliff edge. So there is no that make you survive other than trust. If you trust with your vision, trust with your heart, you will achieve it. Even though it might be a long journey, but you will make it happen. You have to make deal with yourself that are you willing to make more sacrifice? Because if you start to focus to become entrepreneur, you need to feed your baby. It's not only about yourself, but about the baby, about all of the team, and about other people as well, right? For me, like Diffago, I need to think about people with disabilities. You need to make strong team, of course, and then strong networks, and make sure that you can sustain with your savings at least on the first until 2 years. So if all of those things you already have, especially the basic things like patience, trust, and then networks, you just need to start it. Because sometimes we just do it. And if it is failed, just try another way. Just prepare A until Z ways, and you will always find a way, even though you always failed. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.